Alright guys, so now we're going to look at how to deal with an underhook from half guard when my opponent gets an underhook. Okay, my partner plays an initial knee shield. Okay, just understand something. The knee shield is used to maintain distance and create distance between my chest and her chest. The underhook is used to take away distance between my chest and her chest. So it doesn't make any sense for your partner to simultaneously play an underhook and a knee shield at the same time. If she's playing a knee shield, there's no underhook. If she's playing an underhook, there's no knee shield. Okay? So from here, whether from a low knee shield or a high knee shield, she shoots her knee shield through and she brings an underhook into place. Okay? From here, the first thing I'm going to look to do is I'm going to look to shut down my partner's underhook initially. Okay? So if we can shut down the underhook, again, I'm talking about early responses and late responses. Okay? An early response is to shut down the underhook. The late response is to deal with the underhook as it comes. Okay? So a great early response is from here. As soon as my partner goes to punch into an underhook, I'm going to immediately V-grip my partner's armpit, like so, and I'm going to take my chin over my partner's elbow. The combination of these two things completely neutralizes your partner's underhook. Because of the V-grip, when she goes to use the underhook, it's difficult for her shoulder to come towards my shoulder. Okay? In order for her to have a deep underhook, she wants her shoulder preferably underneath my armpit. And because of the V-grip, that initially stops it. Now from here, when I move my chin over my partner's shoulder, when she goes to bring her elbow up, it's very difficult from this position. Now, from here, we're going to come in and we're going to take our left hand and we're going to reach over our partner's head. So as she comes up to her elbow, okay, even if she's not on her elbow, doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to reach over our partner's head, and from here, we find ourselves now in that same passing position. Okay. Once we get in here, now we go into the same series where we start to expose kimuras on our partner. We use scoop grips to pass our partner's legs, or we can even come into that same position where we spin around our partner's leg, not go into leg attacks, or pass our partner with underhooks, and do all of these things that we've been going over up until now. Okay. Now another great option from here is as she goes to come up towards me, we stop the underhook initially with our right hand and our chin position. Now from here, we're going to take a near side underhook. In order for her to effectively use her underhook, she has to come up on this elbow. Now from here, I can't do a back step or go for kimuras like I could before because my knee is still trapped inside my partner's legs. If from here, I try to back step from this position, it's useless. I either end up on bottom, or as I go to back step, my partner just scoots away. Good. Stay under. Come up. Just move your hips back. And I end up with my back taken. And that's no good. Okay. If I try to go for this kimura from here, again, once I lock it, my partner just scoots away from me. And now my back's taken. Okay. So we can only do the back step and the kimura when we have a split squat, where our knee is exposed from our partner's locked legs. If our knee is locked inside of our partner's legs, we can't do either of these. So you have to find different options. So as my partner comes towards me, we use an initial V-grip and chin over my partner's elbow. Now we come in and we use a near side underhook, where from here we take our fingers to our partner's scapula and we pull everything towards us. So that from here, we can bring our partner's back down to the floor. If we push towards our partner, she can always back her elbow up, and it's hard to knock her down to the ground from here. Okay, not impossible, but it's difficult, and you're giving your weight to your partner, so she can start to roll you in that direction. Okay, so from here, instead of putting my weight into my partner, I come in and I pull everything towards me to flatten her out to the floor. Now from here again, the whole thing is to put her hips flat on the ground. So I open up my right knee, and I just walk myself into this position. Now, from here, because I have a near side underhook, from here we have a variety of options that we can do. We can come in, we can take our hand inside of our partner's armpit, or inside of our partner's leg, and from here we come through, and we go into that prime passing position. But this time, because we have a near side underhook, we can pass to this side of our partner's body. So once we flatten our partner out from this position, we come in, we take our elbow inside of our partner's thigh, our hand inside of the hip, and from here, we drive our knee across. Now, from here, we take our head and we glue it to our partner's head on this side. Where now, we can come in, we take our left knee up and across our partner's hips. So now our two knees are connected. Now when she goes to keep my my foot trapped, we just extend the the left leg, we pull the right leg towards us, and now our legs are free. Now from here, we have a variety of things that we can do. One is to settle into a side control with low hips and walk our partner's feet and knees away from us. From here, when she goes to try to out-pommel me with this hand, keep it inside bicep tie. When she tries to keep me from getting a cross face, it's relatively easy to out-pommel my partner and come in. Another great option from here is from here, we walk my partner's hips square. From here, the right knee opens, and then we square our hips like so. So we drop a left hip, we extend the left leg slightly, and we come in. Once again, so you can see this. And then we square. Now from here, we take the elbow inside, we drive across. Now we push the head against our partner's head, we bring our left knee up, and we blade it inside of our partner's hip. We extract our right leg. Another great pass that we can do from here is from here, we can take 2 feet now, with shoelaces above our partner's knees. So when she goes to open up her legs from here, it's very difficult. If she does manage to open up her knees, it drags me across into mount. Okay? Or again, I make sure my right knee in this case is connected to my partner's hip. When she goes to bring her elbow inside of my knee, it's impossible. If I end up in mount with square knees and she can knee elbow escape to this side, I start to run into danger here. Okay? So from here, if my partner aggressively opens her knees, we come across into this position where our knee connects to our partner's hip. So as the knees open, we fall at the low right hip. When she goes to bring her knee inside, she can't. When she goes to bring her elbow inside the knee, she can't. And now from here I square up and my knee comes up into the armpit just like before. Another great option from here is from here, we come in and we just take our right knee and we replace it behind our partner's knee. So we extend our leg back and we replace behind the knee. And now from here, we raise our hips, we connect our right knee to our right elbow. So when my partner goes to bring her knees back in, she can't. And now from here, we slide our left leg across, and now we pass to the opposite side. Okay? Now we don't have an underhook on this side, so we have to make sure that as soon as we pass, we point our partner's hips and knees away from us. If she can move towards me, she can use this underhook now to start coming up and creating scrambles to go for attacks on my leg and my back. Okay? So you can pass this direction. Just know, when you do, you have the underhook on this side, the near side, and when you're passing at the side control. So when you pass, you make sure your partner's knees face away from you. So now if she does try to come use an underhook, she can't because of her leg position. Okay? So we come in. She takes an underhook. We initially crush the underhook with the head in the hand position. We use a near side underhook to pull our partner into us. And from here, we come in. Now, if she keeps her legs locked, we come in. We use an inside elbow to bring everything across. Our head goes to the floor and we glue our ear next to our partner's ear. We come up, leg comes across. We pass 1, drop the hips and walk back towards my partner's legs. 2, we free our leg. We have shoelaces behind our partner's knee. If she opens up her legs, we drop into this good position here where her legs can't come inside and her elbow can't come inside of my knee. And now, as we go to square our hips, we bring our right knee to our partner's armpit. Or 3, from here, we raise our hips, we pass our knee behind our partner's hamstring. And now from here, as our left knee comes through, our right knee connects to our right elbow. So when our partner goes to bring the knees in, it's difficult. And now we can bring our right elbow down to control our partner's hips. And we make sure that we circle towards our partner's hips because her knees, if they point towards me, this underhook can be used to come up and go into attacks. So I always make sure I negate this underhook by taking my chin over her elbow and moving towards her hips. So now when she goes to move towards me to use the underhook, it's very difficult from here. So from here, another great option from a position where my partner gets to an underhook from half guard. I come in, and from here, we take a near side underhook initially, and we use this to get to a body lock, where I pull my partner's shoulders towards me, and before my hand gets trapped, we lock a body lock around our partner. We lock our hands in one of three ways: a 10 finger, a palm to palm, and a wrist to wrist. The wrist to wrist being tightest. If you have problems with bad wrists, the hand that has the near side underhook points palm up, and you put no pressure on your wrist. You put more pressure on your wrist by turning palm down, but you also put more pressure on your partner. It's a lot more uncomfortable. So I'll give you the choice between palm up and palm down. Okay. Now from here, we come in and we bring our head over our partner's far shoulder. Okay. Once our head comes over our partner's far shoulder, again, when she gets to sit up into me, because of the head position, it becomes very difficult. Now, because I have a near side underhook, I'm going to pass to this side. Right? If I pass to this side, you can do it, but just know your partner has a greater chance of using this underhook to come up in on top of you. Okay? So you always want to pass to the opposite side of the underhook. So from here, we're going to come in, we lock our hands, and bring our head over the far shoulder. Now, we bring our head to the floor for base. Now from here, as my partner goes to move me around, we just take our knee out, and we slide 2 butterfly hooks in, so we control the space between our partner's knees. From here, as we extend our right leg and bring our right knee to the floor, we pommel our left leg over. And then we slide our knee behind our partner's hips, and we bring our head back to the opposite shoulder. When your partner goes to move from here, because of the position of the body lock, it completely controls your partner's hips. And now that overhook on your partner's hand just slides in. You have a top head and arm and a nice pin and top side control. Okay? So once again, from here, she comes into an underhook. We use that near side underhook to pull our partner towards us, and we lock a body lock instead of just the near side underhook this time. Now from here, we go over our partner's shoulder, and we bring our head to the floor. So that now from here, we insert a butterfly hook. As we free our knee, we bring our knee across to this side. So now when she goes to move around, I can always use a high right knee, and my left leg can come across. So that when she goes to bring her knees towards me, the butterfly hook stops it, and my knee is a post now. It's important if your partner bridges to have a wide right knee, because your hands are occupied controlling her upper body. So the knee now is the base. What stops her knees from coming in is this hook on the side of her legs. Okay. So as I pass, I come across, she goes to bridge, and my right knee's out. My butterfly hook blocks her knees from coming in, and now from here I extend my left leg to bring her knees away from me, and her head comes over the far shoulder. Now the overhook, the crossface comes in, the underhook comes in, and we have a nice top pin out and side control. Okay, so now my partner's down in half guard, and for whatever reason, we feel like no matter what we do, we feel like we cannot get past my partner's arm and top leg, right? So no matter what we're trying to do from here, none of the options that I try have been working. So we're gonna look to go into control the legs first and just get past my partner's legs using under-over passes, okay? So from here, we're gonna come in, we're gonna shoot our right hand in and cup our partner's hip like so. So that from here, my chin connects to my partner's far hip. The whole thing from here is that I create this angle where my chin connects to the far hip and my legs are out here somewhere. So that's the first goal. From here we come in, we go under with one hand, over with the second hand, and we connect our chin to our partner's far hip. Now if she's smart, the whole thing she'll be doing is bringing her right knee to her right elbow. If from here I'm on my knees, she can easily grab my tricep with this hand, off balance me, and give me problems from here. And if she can extract her foot, now there's triangles for her here as well. Okay? So my whole thing is, how do I stop from getting off balanced and get over this knee? If she can keep this knee inside my hip, then she's winning this battle. But the second I can bring my leg over her knee, that's when I start to win the passing exchange. So we come in, our chin goes to the far hip, and from here, we make sure we turn our left hip down. So my partner goes to off balance me from this position. It's very difficult from here. If I turn my right hip down, she goes to off balance me. That's when I start to run into problems. So the first thing is that from here, we come in, we connect the chin to my partner's hip, we turn our left knee down. Now when she goes to off balance me, it's very difficult from this position. Now, if I just try to reach with my leg over my partner's knee, it'll never work. So the whole thing is to take little steps, where she goes to keep her knee into her chest, and I just step 1, 2, 3, and now I'm up and over. Now, when she goes to bring her knee back into her elbow, I just walk and I drag the leg back towards the center line. Where now from here, I can extend and I take my right leg out. My right leg comes out, and from here, I make a pass off, where my left knee feeds her knee across, and then I replace my left knee with my right knee. Now, I'm past her legs. The whole thing is to get to upper body position. So from here, we come in, we go inside of my partner's bicep, we come into a cross face, and from here, we take our right hand out, and we move into an underhook from here. Okay? So from here, we come in, we feel like no matter what we're doing, we just can't get past this guy's guard. Okay? The legs and the arms are giving us too much trouble. So from here, we come in, we like to go for under-over passing. Where from here, we come in, we go under the top leg, over the bottom leg, and we take our chin to our partner's far hip. Once the chin comes to the far hip, from here, we bring our left hip down. She should be trying to bring this knee into the elbow. If my right hip is dropped down, she can easily off balance me and reset or go into attacks on me. So my whole thing, when she gets the right knee up, is from here, I drop my left hip. So when she goes to move me around from here, it's very difficult. Now, if I try to step with one big step over my partner's knee, it'll be difficult. I'll never be able to reach. So I just step 1, 2, 3, and now I catch. When I catch, I turn my left knee in towards my partner. Now the whole thing for her is to bring her knee back inside my hip and up to her elbow. So my whole thing, once I get over, is to pull her knee back to the center line. So I just walk, 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 and I pull the knee back to the center. Now from here, I pommel my right leg free. I make a pass off by sliding my left knee up, replacing it with my right knee, and now I'm past my partner's legs. Now I have to get the inside position of the upper body. I'm past the legs, but I'm not chest to chest. So from here, we pommel the left hand inside. We take the head over the far shoulder, and we go into underhooks and cross faces. Now we have top pins from under-over passing. So now let's use the same under-over pass, but this time my partner denies me upper body inside position. So I have a hard time getting to a cross face and an underhook. All right, let's look at what we should be doing from here. From here, we come in, we shoot into an initial under-over. We get past our partner's legs, and from here, we're having a hard time getting upper body inside position. She's using her elbows in tight, she's pushing on my head, so from here when I go to come into a cross face, I can't even get around my partner's head. Or if I do get around my partner's head, I can never move up to go to an underhook because her arm's in the way. And if I raise my head enough to be able to come underneath the arm, then there's space for her knees to come inside. Okay, so that's no good. So from here, when I feel this, there's a few things we can do. One is we can take our left hand out and we can go over our partner's arm. So you should sit through and we clear our partner's frames. Where now from here we have more danger and we can go into our scoop grip and we can do all of our passes from this scoop. Okay, because our under-over pass starts with a scoop grip. So we can use this scoop from here where we can pass it to north-south like previously, or we can pull our partner's legs down and then from here make a big step over into mount like we did before. Another great option, once I get past my partner's legs, is from here, I'm past the legs, but I can't get upper body position. So from here, we come through, we shoot not over the head this time, because a lot of times if she has an inside bicep tie, it's hard for me to get over the head. All right, so again, this is my cue. If I can get to upper body inside position by pommeling through to a cross face, now I can move to an underhook. Okay, if I can't get over my if I can't get into a cross face and I can't get to an underhook, I try to go over the head and attack a kimura. Okay, where I sit through and I'm over the arm. If I can't go over the arm because of the inside bicep tie, I threaten going over the head, and then I come back inside and I sit through to a reverse underhook and immediately use this scoop grip to bring my shin across. So now she goes to move from here. It's very difficult. Okay? So you see that you put your partner in predictable situations. So no matter where they move, you always have something for where they're going to go. If they do one thing, you give them a problem. If they solve that problem, they move into the next problem or into the previous problem. So you create dilemmas and trilemmas from here, where wherever your partner goes, they run into another situation where they're going to get beat. That's what we're trying to do. Okay? So we pass our partner's guard, pass our partner's legs from this under-over position. From here, if we can get past the legs, the knees point away from us. If we come into an under or into a crossface, we can always pull our head over the far shoulder and put an underhook in, either under the elbow or with an inside bicep tie, and then work to get our hands and head inside. If from here we get past the legs and we can't go under the head for a crossface, we try to go over the head and over the arm, like so. So now we can bring a shin across and we can do our passing from here like we did previously. If she does such a good job with the inside position, where her hand is in my way, where I can't go under the head, I can't go over the head, now from here I threaten going over the head and I steal the inside position by coming to a reverse underhook and bringing my left shin across the body. And now from here, we do all of our passes right from this position. Okay? Okay. So this time, we get into a position where we get into this under-over position, we capture our partner's leg, but from here, we find ourselves in a position where we're extending our leg past our partner, but we feel like we just can't get past the leg. Okay, where she's hooking down hard with her right leg, so I feel like I can't pass my partner's leg. From here, we're going to come in and we're going to lock a full figure 4 with our legs, so that we can just walk our knees backwards, with the goal of getting her knee connected to my outside hip, my left hip in this case. Now from here, we're going to splay our knees open, and we're going to bring our hips down as we finish a hizugatame for a win, where we knee bar our partner from this position, hizugatame. Now, your partner's in a dilemma. If from here, she stays here, she's going to get broken. So the only way she can defend this is by turning her knee out in this direction. Okay? And once her knees turn out in this direction, now it's easy to pommel my leg free. Or from here, I slide my left knee up, I make a pass off to my right knee, and now we use any of the methods where we bring our hands to the inside or through to reverse underhooks, and we pass our partner from here. Okay? So if I find myself in a position where I can't get past my partner's leg, I'm trying to out-pommel from here, but from here, she hooks down heavy with her leg. Now from here, we just lock a full figure of 4, and we just walk our knees back and along the mat, so that our calves connect to the long end of the lever down by her ankle, and her knee connects to my outside hip. Okay. Now from here, our knees open as our hips drive in, and we get strong hizugatame finishes. As she goes to turn away from me, because if she tries to turn to her right, she just gets finished. The only way she can do this is by offsetting her knee on my hip. As she turns away from me, now the foot easily comes out. We make a pass off with our 2 knees, and now from here, we have various kinds of upper body position. Okay. Now this time, we come in, and from here, our partner locks her legs together. So now from here, we feel like we can't extend the leg in order to come in. We use this now just to go into normal half guard passing. Like I said before, the whole thing is how can I get past my partner's top leg and top arm. By my partner locking the legs, now it stops me from getting past the legs by kicking my leg back, and it stops me from going into knee bar finishes, but it doesn't prevent me from just coming over the top. Now from here, we just walk back towards our partner's center line to bring her knee in, and now we're over our partner's top and bottom knee. Now we go into the same series where we come in, we get inside bicep ties, and we open up our partner's arms. Or we sit through, we attack kimuras. We sit through, we go to reverse underhooks and use scoop grips. Okay? So from here, when I'm using an under-over pass, and I feel like my partner's doing a really good job of locking her 2 legs together, so I can't kick my leg back and pass. I can't extend my leg and go into Hisegatame and use that for a submission or a pass. What it does do is it allows me now to move easily into a half guard passing position, where I take my arm over, and now we have a tight waist on our partner. Where now from here, we come in, and we start working into upper body inside position. Okay? And we have various ways that we can do all of those. Now, another great option from this under-over passing, or under-over passing, however you guys want to say it, is from here we come in, and again my partner locks her legs. Okay? Now I can't sprawl past the legs. From here we're going to come in, and we're going to take our right hand up and over her hips. Here. So we initially control the hips. Now, let's say we're trying to fight for upper body position, but it's hard to get the hands in place. But we don't want to switch our hips or do anything because we're afraid of back exposure. A great option from here is to take our left hand underneath our partner's hips, raise the hips by pulling up with the left hand slightly, but mostly pulling our right elbow towards us. So now there's some space between the floor and my partner's back, where now I can shoot into a deep tight waist and control my partner's hips. So I physically grab around and I grab the pocket of my partner's hip like so, and I pull my right elbow back to me. Now, when she goes to push me away from here, I can control my partner's hips completely. Versus before, if I'm just pinching my partner's hips down here, now it's just my lat muscle closing against my partner's hips. When she goes to move away, she can move the hips away to a certain degree. I want to have a full anchor on my partner's far hip with my left or my right hand. When she goes to move away now, it's incredibly difficult. Now from here, as she goes to push me away, I'm going to take my hand inside of my partner's bicep with my left hand, and I'm going to bring my head to my partner's side over here like so. Now from here, if I can get an underhook, great. If I can't get an underhook, I still feel like my partner has a hand inside, where it's difficult from here, that's no problem. I'm just going to pike up, and I'm going to insert my butterfly hook like so. Once my butterfly hook comes in, I use my left hand above the line of my partner's shoulders to bring my knee free, and now I plant my knee to the floor. Once my knee comes down to the floor, we use our leg again on the top leg to free our heel, on the bottom leg to free the rest of our foot, and now we just connect our right hip to our partner's hip. Because of the tight waist, when she goes to move her hips now, it's very difficult. And from here, we just work on out-pommeling our partner's right hand. So when her hand is inside of my biceps, so I can't get a crossface, we just work on out-pommeling that hand, coming in, and now from here, we're into all of our passes, where we walk back towards our partner's hips once again, and we have a nice top pin. So this time we use a tight waist to control our partner's hips. So we come into this under-over, and from here she locks her legs. From here we come through, and again, anytime we get to this position, when we're over our partner's top and bottom knee, we can't get to upper body position, we can use tight waist. Okay? So from here, we come in, we use the left hand and the rolling back of the right elbow to pull her slightly off the back, so there's space between her back and the floor. Now we shoot the right hand deep into a tight waist, and we access our partner's bottom hip here. Now, when she goes to push me away, she can only push me so far, but she can't move her hips or head away from me. Okay? Now from here, I have to deal with this near hand. So when she goes to push on my head with this near hand, we go to inside bicep tie. And now when she tries to use her left hand to keep my head away, I can always come to the near side of my partner's head. Now when she goes to move away because of the tight waist, the hips are controlled. I put the left hand out for base here, I start piking up, and my left leg comes inside. Now, we come in, we take our knee to the floor, and we free our leg just like before. And now from here we walk back towards our partner's hips as we out-pommel her hand, and we get inside position with the shoulders and head pinned. Hey guys, so we're going to go over some deep half guard passing. Okay, now deep half guard is an interesting position because when you use it with a gi, it's very easy for your partner to grab belts and the lapels, and it can be very annoying from here. But it's relatively easy to peel grips without the gi. So when my partner is in a half guard, okay, like I said, initially I want to stop my partner from getting to underhooks and getting into my far leg. Okay, I do this with the cross face in my head position, either over the far shoulder or over the elbow. But there's always going to be times where my partner scoops into my far leg, and she comes into this position now. Now, just like before, everything we're doing is assuming first that we can get to upper body inside position, okay? So assuming we can get to an underhook and a crossface on our partner. So she comes in and she scoops into my leg. From here, if I can get to an underhook on my partner, before she can get my knee up to her shoulder, we're gonna come in and we're gonna lock our hands. And now, when she goes to scoop my leg up, I'm just gonna extend my leg straight back. I don't walk it towards my partner's hip, because now it's just a lifting motion, her lifting her arm and extending her legs or her hips away, versus me trying to close my legs together. That's not really the idea here, okay? So from here, the idea is to extend my leg straight back. Okay, take a strong king. Extend my leg straight back first. So now when she goes to scoop, she can only scoop a little bit. And now I walk back towards my partner's hips, and now we have a top head and arm where we can go into all of our available passes. Okay? So if I feel like my partner scoops inside my leg, but we can immediately come into a crossface and underhook. From here, we're going to come in and we're going to extend our leg straight back first. So straight in the same line my toes point. If I just try to go down towards my hip and close my knees together and she swivels her hips underneath me, this will always start to happen. And then you get up to off balance, you have to post your hand, and then she starts to go into her attacks. So from here, I'm going to first extend my leg straight back. So when she gets to bring her hips underneath me and scoop my leg, it's difficult. And now, if I can, I'll walk my leg back, free her scoop grip, and we go into attacks by passing with our typical butterfly passes from there. Okay? So that's if my partner goes into a deep half guard and she's flat on her stomach, and I feel like I can get to, or flat on her back, and I feel like I can get to a crossface and an underhook. Now, another great thing that we can do, assuming we can get to an underhook, is if my partner scoops my leg. Okay? From here, we're going to come in, we're going to take an initial underhook, and we're going to make sure that we control our partner's arm by connecting our shoulder and head to her shoulder. What I don't want is to take an underhook and have my head out here in some random position, and she can just take her hand inside and start to clear and come into an underhook. Okay? So I'm going to come in, I'm going to take an underhook, and whether I get to a crossface or not, it doesn't really matter. If we can use a crossface, then we can come in, we can first bring our right leg to a position of relative safety. Okay? What does that mean? From here, I want to take my right foot to a position where my partner cannot pommel her ankles underneath my ankle. So the whole thing from here is to slide my left knee up and bring my right knee or my right ankle to a position where it's so shallow under my partner's on top of my partner's hips, where when she goes to pommel her ankle underneath mine, it's very difficult from here. If from here she can pommel her ankles underneath mine and get her left ankle under mine, now she has the inside position with her feet. And because she has the inside position, when she goes to off-balance me from here, it's incredibly easy. And now she's into all kinds of X-guard, ashigaramis, and that's no good for me. Okay? So from here, we're going to come in. If we get to an underhook, the first thing we're going to do, or underhook and a crossface, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to slide our left knee up and our right ankle up. Now, we need to get our left knee underneath our partner's head. So we're just going to pull our partner's head off the floor and close our left knee in. So now the crossface is replaced with my left thigh. So now when she goes to move from here, it's difficult. If she tries to turn toward her left, this shoulder is controlled with my right hand. When she goes to turn to her right, because my head position is so far over to the shoulder, it's difficult from here. Now I'm going to look to start scooting around my partner's body. So from here, I'm going to keep a tight grip in like so, where I have my right elbow connected to my hip, and now I'm just going to look to keep a scoop. I'm just going to look to start scooting around underneath my partner, where now her scoop is useless to have. Now from here, I take my hand off the floor, and I'm seated on my butt. So now this hand is weightless. Now we come in, and we start locking kimuras from here. Now my partner has to address this. If she doesn't, she's going to get finished. So what everyone starts doing is locking their hands. Okay. Now as she locks her hands, now it's easy for me to take my left leg out. Because I have the kimura, when I lean slightly to my right side, I have no base with my hands, but the kimura prevents her from rolling up in this direction. So if I lean to this side and she tries to come up, the pressure on the kimura will stop her. So it gives me the safety now to lean slightly to the side and extract my left leg. Now that my left leg is out, we use our left leg to post on our partner's hip, And from here, we look to extract our foot. We can also extract our foot by threatening the finish of a Kimura. The only way she can start to move from here is if she unlocks her feet and bridges. And now my right foot comes out. Okay? And now from here, there's a variety of things we can do. Like I said, just look to pass your partner's guard. Look to attack your partner's guard. Okay? If my partner stays here, we can come in and start to go for all kinds of triangle finishes from here. If she turns on top of me, we have all kinds of triangle variations from there. Okay, we have a Shiro Senkaku, we have Hantai Senkaku, we have all kinds of things that we can do. Mote Senkaku, various different triangles, arm bars, Kimura setups from here. Okay, the whole thing is I'm using a deep half guard to expose my partner's limbs to go into submissions. So from here, we're in. She shoots into a deep half guard. And then the last one, we looked at getting a crossface and an underhook. This time, let's say we just get an underhook. So as soon as she goes to shoot a deep half, I immediately take my hand in, I take my my left knee up, and I just slide my left knee under my partner's head. Okay? So this time, as she goes to shoot deep half, I immediately slide my knee under my partner's head, and I take my right foot to a position of relative safety. The position of relative safety is to a point where my ankle is so shallow on my partner's hips that she has no ability to pommel her ankles behind mine. If she can do that, now she can easily off-balance me, and I'm in a world of trouble. So from here, we come up. If we either use a crossface like we looked at last time, or an underhook, we slide in to this position here. Okay? Now from here, when she goes to pommel underneath my ankle, it's difficult. And all I'm looking to do is scoot underneath my partner to a point where I'm sitting on two butt cheeks. Here. Now, when she goes to move, it's very difficult because my head is over on this side. When she tries to roll to her right, she can't. When she tries to roll to her left, the shoulder is controlled on this side, and she can't. Now, all I have to do is come in and switch to a Kimura grip. From here, I'm going to lean slightly to my right so that my left foot can come out. When she goes to turn on top of me, because of the Kimura coming back the opposite direction, it's very hard. And now we can come in and start locking into all of our triangle sequences. Kimuras, arm bars, what have you from here. Okay? So that's if my partner gets to a deep half guard, but I have an underhook. Now, as always, there's going to be points, a point in time where your partner doesn't let you have an underhook. So if we do have an underhook, we're either initially going back towards our partner's head with the crossface. We're moving up towards our partner's head with triangles with the crossface and underhook, or we're simply recognizing when she goes to shoot into deep half guard and sliding up into triangles like so. Okay. Now, if my partner shoots into a deep half guard and she doesn't allow me to have an underhook, the way that she stops me from having an underhook is by shooting her hand underneath my leg. Here. Now there's two positions that she can be in. When she has a hand hidden, she can be on the near hip, where she faces me, or the far hip, where she faces away from me. Okay? If she's flat on her back, I can always pommel an underhook in, and this scoop is useless. So there's certain ways that we deal with each of these. Okay? If my partner is coming in towards me, from here, we're going to come in, we're going to post our two hands on the floor, and we're going to simply stand up from this position. Now from here, we grab a grip on our partner's head, and we take a reverse V grip on her foot from here. If she goes to keep this scoop grip, I can easily just step my foot out. Okay? When she goes to hold my leg from here, we can always just take our leg free. Okay? She can only hold my leg for so long. So from here, when she goes to keep this scoop, we just shake our leg free, and our leg comes out. So what everyone's going to try to do from here is they're going to try to make a transition to X guard, because now my foot and knee, or now my knee's off the floor. So what most people will do is they'll sit down to their back and try to bring feet inside. Okay, anyone good is going to do that, especially without the gi. With the gi, it's a little harder because they're holding onto your leg, and the friction makes it hard to pull your leg out. But without the gi, it doesn't make any sense to hold on to this scoop. So from here, I take a reverse V grip. Now, when she goes to switch to an X guard, I can control this foot. From here, as she goes to make a switch, I have a hand on the head. I kick my leg back and around my partner's leg. and we pommel in. If at any point she follows me with her leg, with the rear pommel, I come through and I hit a front pommel. From this position, the whole thing is to get my knee connected to my right elbow. My knee has to beat her leg, my hand has to beat her hip, and I have to connect my right knee and my right elbow. I hold an initial collar tie to stop my partner from moving away from me. Okay? This isn't too much, it doesn't do too much to control your partner, but it does. She has to make a choice now between either clearing a collar tie or posting in your hands to try to bring her knees inside. Okay? So she fights one or the other, so you put her in a dilemma. If she fights a collar tie, then I have the hands and the knees. Okay? If at any point she clears the collar tie, so I can always go back to the knees, back to the collar tie, and we make active transitions during these movements. Okay? But initially we use a reverse V grip, we cut around, and we come in. If she goes to follow me, we kick around, front pommel, and now we connect the right knee and the right elbow. Now from here, when she goes to bring her knees inside, because of my knee-elbow connection, it's very difficult. Now I have a bunch of things we can do from here. One good option is, as soon as we drop down, if your partner lets you get an underhook and a crossface, we just go in knee on belly, we drive across, or we enter side control. If your partner uses a cross shoulder post, okay, like most people will, from here it's difficult to come around with this arm. Okay? So if I feel she's posting on my shoulders and I feel like I can't get around the head in any fashion, we're going to post our left hand on the floor. We're going to go shin to shin, and we're going to push our partner's knees in this direction. Here. So that our left leg comes flush to our partner's back, our left or right shin comes behind our partner's knees, and our head goes over our partner's far shoulder. Now when she goes to open up her knees, because my weight's over her knees, it's very difficult. Now I determine when I take my leg off, and I can fight to inside position with the upper body. Okay? If at any point my partner brings her elbow past my center line, now there's back exposure. Okay? If she turns away from me, there's back exposure. If she turns towards me, there's top pins. Okay? If at any point she turns towards me and I can't get inside position, we just make a switch to north-south like we've been doing previously. Okay? So we come in and we're here. My partner shoots into a deep half guard. She has a scoop and she faces towards me. From here we're going to take an initial V grip, where now we're comfortable standing up to 2 feet. Now if she stays with this V grip, or if she stays with this scoop grip, we just pull the leg out and now we're past. So what every talented opponent's going to do is try to switch to a next guard and bring the legs inside. So as she does that, she releases the scoop, and now from here I control this foot. Now I kick around and we pommel through. If your partner follows you, we kick around, we pommel in front, and from here we start coming down into passes, where we connect our right knee and our right elbow. If we can get upper body inside position, perfect. If we can't, then we have to do something else. So from here, if we can come around our partner's head, we can start taking our right knee off as our right hand comes across and we touch our partner's far hip with our head, just like we were doing before. Okay? So if I can't get upper body inside position, but I can come over the head, now we can just come in and pass to north-south. If she's using a cross shoulder post from here, now I can't come over, I can't come under, I can't do anything. So from here, as she goes to bring her knees back inside, I need to push my knee against hers, go knee to knee, and use my left leg to push her knees in the opposite direction of the escape, and bring my shin flush to her back. So that from here, my shin lands here, my head lands over the far shoulder, and my knee closes against hers. So when she goes to face me, it's easy for me to come in. Now we can either go underhook, or we can pommel to a position where we go over the head, and we pass like so. Okay? Once you get to this position, it's going to be a scramble. Not a scramble per se, okay? But it's going to be a fight for her to insert this knee. So if at any point her knee comes back inside, we can always bump the knee through again, okay? And we'll go over that more later with the loose passes. So, we've covered 2 positions now, where my partner's down on the floor, deep half guard. We can get to an underhook and a crossface. we can get to an underhook. We can't get to an underhook, and she scoops the leg, and she faces towards me. Now the last position, from here, we're going to go to scorpions next, but the last position from here is she faces away from me, and now she has a hand inside. Okay? From here, it's relatively easy now. We can stand up too if we wanted and do the same things we just did, right? But it's much easier to start going around my partner's body. So from here, I'm going to come in, I'm going to post my partner's head with my left hand, and I'm going to start sliding my knee around. If she has a strong connection of her head to her hand, it's very difficult to slide my knee around. So I push the head down, and I just start scooting my head around the corner. Now from here, we use either an inside scoop here, or an outside scoop here, whichever you feel is available at the moment. A lot of the times, an inside scoop is better, because it gives you a post left hand, okay? Versus you can't have really a post in this direction. If your partner pushes you, you kind of have to awkwardly bring your hand across. Versus here, you're in good shape. Now, we scoot around. Again, our goal is to bring our left knee into our right heel. So now, we can come forward with the hands, lock across Hashigurami, and now we're ready to go into our whole series that we used before to pass from here. Okay, so we're in. Our partner shoots into a deep half guard. She scoops inside the leg, and she moves to the far hip. Now I start pushing my partner's head down, and I start scooting around the corner. Once I clear my partner's head, that's when we start coming into this scoop here. Once we come into the scoop, we elevate the leg, so our knee can come inside and connect to the right heel. Now we just lean forward, connect our legs, and leave any of the passes that we did previously from this position. Okay? So that's deep half guard, assuming you can get a cross-facing underhook, just an underhook, or your partner scoops the leg, faces towards you, scoops the leg, faces away from you. We cover all three positions. The main thing is that as soon as she shoots into a deep half guard, you immediately bring your leg to a position of relative safety. So as soon as she comes in, I'm always here. I don't want to have her scoot into a deep half guard, her palm length feet behind, and coming in and getting into good positions like so. Okay? The whole thing is for me to scoot my hip or my ankle so shallow in between my partner's legs that when she goes to pommel her ankles behind, it's very difficult from here. Now, let's say my partner comes in and she manages to scoop in to a position where she starts going into waiter sweeps, right? Like so. From here, if my head is out here somewhere and she goes to take me over in this direction, I get very off balance. So the whole thing for me is to lean my head far over my partner's shoulder. Now, when she goes to off balance me, it's very difficult for her. If I'm out here somewhere and she can easily off balance me and take me backwards, and I start to run to a mess. So my head comes down and we're in like so. If she has a full scoop of my leg and she's elbow deep around my wrist, I have to address this grip first. There's not really much that I can do from here. If I start to try to posture up to stand, then she starts to off balance me in most cases. Okay. Well, from here we come in, we grab my partner's wrist, we peel her hand down to the floor, and now we just take our foot inside of her own wrist, and we pommel back to a position now where we're in safe. If my partner doesn't scoop elbow deep all the way, and she just grabs a grip on my ankle, I can't just extend my hand away from here, or my leg away from here. The weakness of the grip is in towards her own body. So the weakness of her one of her grip is covered by her own butt. So the only way I can pommel my leg free from here is to bring my leg this way, but her butt's in the way. If I try to pommel my leg out this way, I run into her four fingers, okay? And the four fingers is the strength of her grip. So I'm running directly into the strength of the grip. So instead, we just come in, we grab either our partner's hand or our partner's wrist, depending on how tight of a grip they have. If you initially start at the wrist because it's faster, if you can break the grip, great. You have to have a death grip where they're holding really tight onto your ankle, either here or here. And you feel like you just can't peel it at the wrist. You just reach in and you grab your partner's knuckle line, where we grab the pinky knuckle all the way across to the index knuckle. And now when she goes to hold tight, we just separate this grip, we bring our leg back, and we immediately post the knee to go to a position of relative safety. Okay, so we have defenses now for your partner going in, scooting it into an initial deep half, where we cross face underhook, where she scoops and she faces towards me, where she scoops faces away from me, and when she scoops wrist deep on my ankle, where we come in and we address the grip, or elbow deep on my ankle, where we come in, we address the grip, and our head never crosses our partner's center line. It's always towards my partner's far shoulder, so when she goes to off balance me, we come in, and now we do our work from here. Okay, that's our deep half defenses. So now, there's also one more position your partner can put you in when she enters into deep half guard. Okay, and she can do this from a split squat or just from a regular deep half guard. So let's take a look. Whether I enter from a split squat, okay, and my partner comes into an underhook, and now she has an underhook and she scoops the far leg. Now we're technically in a deep half from here, but my knee is free. Okay, normally from a split squat, my partner has an underhook, I backstep. But because of her scoop grip, I can't backstep now. Okay, because she has an underhook on me, it's relatively difficult for me to go into kimuras from here, and everything's hard to do. Okay, not just from a split squat if your partner scoops into a far leg, but also from a half guard or a deep half guard where I free my ankle, but now my partner overwraps my knee. So instead of coming under my leg before I can get to a kimura, she turns her hips towards me and she puts my knee down to the floor by using this arm. So now, when I try to scoop my knee back across, I can't. So when I go to turn my hips under my partner and go for kimuras, I can't because my knee is trapped now. So from here, what am I going to do? If I stay here, my partner can start coming up into me. She can start rolling me over this way, and I can end up in all kinds of trouble. So the first thing I have to do is address this scoop grip. So we're going to come in. We're going to grab 4 fingers over our partner's knuckle line, and now we're going to start to peel this grip off. When she goes to keep this scoop, it's very difficult from here. And now we take our hand out and we bring our leg far away. Now we come in and we pin our partner's hand to the floor. So when she tries to go to get up from here, she can't come up to her elbow. Now, our back steps become available, where we slide in, we enter into a cross hashigurami, and now we can do all of our passing from here. Okay, whether you go over the head, she takes her hand out and we punch underhooks in, she keeps her hand in, and we move back and away from our partner and we do our passes from here. We'll end up going into some kind of passing position from here. Okay. But now let's say my partner enters into a deep half guard. This can happen from a split squat if she scoops the far leg. Okay, now she overwraps. Now I can't take my leg to the opposite side. Or it can happen from a regular half guard where she starts with an underhook, she goes into a scoop grip, and now I gotta bring my knee out, and I put my knee into my shin, or my ankle, into a position of safety. But now my knee is on this hip, all right? So from here, if she goes to take her elbow and push my knee to the opposite hip, that's trouble. My whole thing is to keep my knee on this hip. Now when I take my knee across, I slide underneath my partner's body, it's pretty easy to go into our attacks from here, because she doesn't have her hand underneath my leg. Now when I go to expose the kimura, the triangle, there's nothing there because this arm is hidden. If she goes over my leg and my knee's on the top hip, now I can expose those same submissions. But if she goes over the leg and she pushes my knee down to the bottom hip, now none of that's available. So the first thing is to post my hand, grab my partner at the knuckle line, so that I can step this leg up. My hand pommels around, and now you pin my partner's hand to the floor. Now if she tries to come up on singles, it's difficult. If she does come up to a single, now we just go into kimuras, okay? Where now from here, we just roll over our right shoulder, and we end these T-kimura positions, where now we can easily go into all of our attacks and passes from there. Okay? So you put your partner in a dilemma from here. We free our knee, we free our trapped leg, so we come up, we pommel our hand through. We stop her initially from coming up to her elbow. So that from here, we can hit a back step, and now we're into our attacks from here. If your partner aggressively fights up and tries to go in for single legs, now we just come in and we go elbow deep. We roll over the right shoulder. And now we have Tikimura attacks where we can go into finishes from here. So if your partner stays down, we come into a backstab after we peel our scoop grip off. If she comes up to her elbow, then we just go into Kimuras in the bottom arm and we roll through the Tikimuras. Okay? So that's another great position where your partner can do attacks from, where we enter into a split squat, but our partner does a good job of coming up, using this arm to control my leg as she comes in and scoops the far leg, and now from here we're in. Another great example of this is if my partner is able to bump me forward from a split squat, and now we're in, and she has deep half guard. Or if I'm in regular half guard, and she starts with an underhook, for example, and now as she goes to shoot into deep half, I free my knee, she uses her hand to bring my knee to the floor. So now I can't backstab because of the scoop grip. I can't go to Kimuras because of this top arm, and triangles because of this top arm. So instead, we address this scoop grip first, where we step up and we backstep. She comes up to an elbow. We go elbow deep, and we roll through. Okay, so it's an excellent dilemma from there if your knee's on the bottom hip versus being on the top hip. So now, another position that is going to give us trouble is the scorpion or the lockdown. Okay. Now we have to understand something. If your opponent wants to play an effective effective scorpion position, they have to have upper body inside position. Most people that use a scorpion use it to take pressure off of them when somebody already beats them at the upper body. So if I get a head and arm, I got a cross face and an underhook on my partner, most people use it to just delay the pass. Okay. So for example, if I come in, just rotate your head this way. If I get to a top head and arm and I'm trying to put pressure into my partner, she locks her legs inside and she uses an extension of her legs to stall me from here because now I can't drive forward. But she has no real offense from here. The only way she can effectively use this is if she has upper body inside position where she can scoop my leg, she can come to an underhook, and she can do these kinds of things. Okay? So let's look at a way that we can use effective leg pommeling to get past this scorpion. So now assuming we can get to upper body position, okay? Let's say we can get to a cross face and underhook from here, through various methods that we've used. And she looks to bring her legs inside, and she uses an inside scorpion to trap my legs. So she's extending my legs from here, okay? From here, we're gonna come in, we're gonna take, because if I just try to pommel my feet and she keeps sticky hooks, it's hard to get my partner moving from here. So from here, we're gonna raise our right heel to our butt, so we're gonna pull our heel in, and now we're gonna take our left foot and we're gonna pommel it behind our partner's legs. So now when she goes to follow me, I open up my left foot and I just pommel my right leg through. Now there's space below my left leg. So I'm just gonna bring my right foot in towards my own knee so that my right heel and my left knee connect. Now when she goes to relock the scorpion, because my left foot's so far up, she can't. And now from here we come in, we insert our butterfly hook, and now we have passes from there. So let's say from here, she locks into a scorpion. I'm trying to drive forward, I can't. I'm trying to palm my legs through, I can't. I first bring my heel into my butt, so now when she goes to follow me with the bottom foot, she can't. Now we turn our hips slightly, so our left leg can pommel underneath our partner's legs. Now we lift and open up our partner's leg. Now when she goes to relock the scorpion, she can't. Now I make space for my right leg to pommel underneath my left, and now we're free. Now when my heel connects to my knee, when she goes to relock the scorpion, we insert our butterfly hook, and we're past. Okay? Another great way that we can look to get past our partner's scorpion is if my partner locks it up from here, and from here, instead of going to a cross face and underhook, we use any kind of position where we sit either over the arm or to a reverse underhook like we looked at before. Now, from here, I'm facing towards my partner's legs. So the same thing as I pull my heel into my butt, and I use my left foot heel to heel of my partner. Okay? So I pull my right heel in. When she goes to extend, I go heel to heel, and I use my left foot to push my partner's heel off, and I bring my leg out. Now when she goes to relock, I take my hand inside of her hip, I take my elbow inside of her knee, and I push my knee free. And now we have great options of either coming into a scoop grip, like so, and doing the same passing series from here, or from here, driving across with 3/4 mounts and doing the same passing series from here. Okay. So from here, we come in, whether we're sit over the elbow or to a reverse underhook, and she locks into a scorpion. Now, if I try to just move my leg around, I can't do anything from here. So we come in, we take our left heel through to our partner's heel. We push our partner's foot off, and we take our foot up as far as we can in this direction. So that when she goes to relock, we can easily slide our leg out. And now we come into a position where we have a scoop, we drive across, we do any of the previous passing sequences from here. So now, let's look at dealing with a scorpion when my partner has upper body inside position as well. Okay, because like I said before, if she has no upper body inside position, the scorpion's almost useless. It's just a delaying tactic to stop me from, or to slow me down from passing. Okay, so when she's down and she has an underhook this time, she sits up to an underhook. From here, the first thing I can do, like I said, there's early and late responses. So an early response, when I feel my partner's going to lock an inside scorpion, when I feel her legs move to the inside and I feel her legs palming like so, from here, I'm going to post to my partner's hip, and I'm just going to raise my knee over my partner's hip and free my knee. So when she goes to pommel her legs, I'm just going to turn my left knee into her hip, and I'm going to take my right knee out. Now from here, we come in, we take our knee across, we back step over, and now we're in the same passing position that we've been looking at this entire time. Okay. So when I feel my partner's legs messing around with mine, the cue is when you feel this leg coming off and her leg coming in. Okay. So as soon as you feel her outside leg pommeling in, that's when the leg comes up. And now from here, we come across, and we back step. Or, you don't have to do that. Okay, you can use near side underhooks and just pull your partner back into half guard, or now your foot is in a position of safety, and then just do your passes from here. Okay, you can do all kinds of things. Okay, but it's crucial to free the knee first before you start to go into passes from there. Okay, now let's look at a position which is a difficult one to deal with, where she does lock a scorpion and she has upper body inside position. Now this is difficult, okay, because it's difficult for me to free this leg. My partner has inside position. If she scoops this far leg, I start to run into trouble from here. Okay, the first thing we can do is initially bring our hips back. So when she goes to scoop inside my far leg, it's difficult. Okay, and we can beat her with near side underhooks. So now when she goes to scoop inside my far leg, I can pull my knee into my partner's hip and pull her flat to the floor. Now we come in, and now from here she's flat on the ground. Now my whole thing is to cover my partner's underhook, reach over my partner's head, and switch my hips. And now everything remains the same. Where we come in, we free our leg, and now we look to free our knee. Okay. So initially, she comes up, she's in, she goes to switch her legs. If we can free the knee, great. If we can't free the knee, and she does get to a scorpion, we start to initially back our hips away and look to bring in a near side underhook. Now, as we pull her down to the floor, we circle back to bring our partner's legs to the center line. Now, I cover the underhook, my hand comes out, and we reach across our partner's body, and we turn our hips. Our foot comes in, we come out, and now we free the knee. So that's if your partner gets to an underhook with a scorpion and she has everything in place. Now let's talk about if your partner scoops the leg. Okay? This is the hardest position to deal with because now she has an underhook. Okay? If I leave my hands on the floor, she can come up and chase my back, which is no good. Okay? If I put a whizzer in, she can roll me over. That's no good. Okay? And if I base out, I can hurt my knee. If I try to aggressively stop her from rolling me out and she takes her legs and whips them out in this direction, you can put pressure on the knee from there. So what am I going to look to do from this position? You can't backstep. It's difficult to do anything. Okay. If you can free your hand from this, if you can peel her hands off with the scoop grip, great. But your knee is not free now, so you can't backstep. It's much harder to free your leg from here. Because from here, when I go to free my leg, my knee is still trapped in between my partner's legs, so it's unrealistic to free this leg against anybody good. So my partner's up on her side. From here, I pretty much know against anybody good that I'm going to get rolled over. So I may as well take something with me while I get rolled. So we're going to put in an initial head and arm guillotine. We can do this because she has an underhook and she has no defensive hands to fight against my grips coming in. Because one hand is occupied with the scoop and one hand is occupied with an underhook. So from here, as my partner goes to roll me over, we're going to fall over and we're going to insert our left leg as a butterfly hook like so. Now, from here, as our partner goes to get up, we're going to come into this position here. Now, your partner has a choice. She can leave this hand in as a scoop, or she can take this hand out as a scoop. Okay? If the hand stays in, I'm not going to be able to lift my partner up with my left leg enough to be able to take her over. Okay? Because this hand will stop the extension. So instead, I'm going to use my right foot to scoot underneath my partner and insert her second butterfly hook in like so. Now from here, I use my my left elbow to crunch my partner's chin into her chest, and I lift over the left shoulder. And now from here, we can go into head and arm strangles, or we can come up to top position. If your partner rolls through, we can come up into front heads, other way. We can follow into front heads and go into all kinds of attacks from here. Okay. So if your partner comes in, she has an inside scorpion, she scoops my leg, and she gets to an underhook. From here, we're going to come in, we're going to take a head and arm guillotine. Now, as she rolls me, we're going to insert our left leg as a butterfly hook. As she comes up, if she keeps this hook, I will be able to extend her over my right shoulder. So from here, I'm going to pull everything, I'm going to bring my right butterfly hook in by scooting slightly underneath her, pulling this in, and now from here, I pull my knees into my chest. Now, once the knees are into my chest, her center of gravity is over mine. Now, when I enter into a sumigishi over my left shoulder, I use my left elbow to crunch her chin into her chest, and she goes over. Or now we can go to the same series where we come up to our knees, into guillotines, and start coming up into attacking positions, or go into a variety of submissions from there. Now let's say we come in, my partner takes me over, we insert a butterfly hook, she comes up, and my partner takes her scoop out. Okay? So now, we can take my partner over to my left side, but I can also go over the right side from here. Okay? The beauty of being able to go to the left, or to my right side, rotate. So if I want to, and she takes the scoop out, I can scoot over, I can take it to the opposite side. Okay? But from here, because I have a head and arm guillotine, I control my partner's left arm from here. So the only thing that she can base with is her foot. So now that the scoop grip is out, I can have full extension with my left leg. Now from here, I'm going to take my right leg through, I'm going to start lifting with my left leg, and I'm going to bring everything over my right shoulder. So my partner goes to base out, she ends up falling over the shoulder. If she bases so far with her leg, she'll just go straight over my shoulders. Come back up. If the leg stays down and just goes straight out for base, she goes more over the right shoulder. If the right leg comes up so high, she goes straight over the shoulders. Okay? So we have two great options. One, if she keeps the scoop grip. Second is if she relinquishes the scoop grip. Okay? So our options from here are contingent upon my partner's scoop. If she keeps the scoop with the leg, I can't elevate over this shoulder because she can always extend this leg or this arm into me, and it's hard for me to go in to use a full butterfly hook from here. So instead we come in, we pull ourselves underneath our partner, and we elevate over this side. If from here we come in, she takes the scoop out, we take our right foot in for a drive leg, and now we start lifting, and because we control our partner's hand, we can take her over the shoulder. If it wasn't an arm and guillotine, she can post her hand out on the floor, and this will never work. But because I have an arm and guillotine from here, when she goes to base as hard as she can always take my partner up and over. And now from here, we can follow up with all of our attacks. So if she does scoop inside the leg with an underhook and a scorpion, you pretty much have to accept you're gonna get put over, or you're in for a rough ride at least from there. You may eventually get free, but the best option is just to accept you're gonna get taken over, attack a head and arm guillotine, accept the sweep, and then use a swimming gate to come back on top, already past the legs, and go into a pass.